Pablo De Luca, presidente de la Cámara de Comercio Argentina Gay y Lésbica, junto con Marcelo Costa, que los invito a dar la bienvenida, les doy la bienvenida y los invito a pasar acá para que presenten ustedes a Jong, que es nuestro invitado especial del día de hoy.
Hola, buenas tardes. Bueno, en nombre de la División Internacional de Promoción del Ministerio de Turismo de la Nación, me voy a dar vueltas, horrible. Esta plataforma debería ser circular. Damián, así damos vueltitas. Le quiero agradecer que estemos acá con todos los actores públicos y privados. Realmente para nosotros como ministerio es importante traer estos speakers internacionales y poder presentárselos a todos ustedes. Así que es un placer estar acá con Uwern, que nos viene a visitar desde Londres. Le paso la palabra a Pablo, que hace una presentación a la parte privada.
Hola a todos, gracias por estar aquí. Yo represento a la Cámara de Comercio Gay y Lésbica Argentina y a la Asociación Latinoamericana de Turismo LGBT. La región tiene más de 44 millones de personas LGBT que tienen particularidades a la hora de elegir los destinos a donde quieren viajar. Y nuestra región gasta más de 71 billones de dólares en turismo LGBT. Cuando pensamos en quién podíamos traer para compartir con ustedes, no dudamos en que nuestro partner en Europa, Uwern Jong, que es quizás el experto en turismo de lujo y turismo LGBT, sería el más indicado. Así que, sin más, los voy a dejar con él, que es quien sabe de todo esto. Muchas gracias, Uwern.
Gracias. Buenos días, hola, ¿qué tal? That's all my Spanish, all in one. So I apologize, I have to rely on my fantastic colleague Georgina over here, who will translate everything for me. I have also never spoken to a circle of people like this, so I will try to talk to you face to face as much as possible. And for those behind me, enjoy the view. So who am I? What are we going to talk about today? Oh, firstly, I'd like to say a big thank you. Muchas gracias to Marcelo, Pablo, and Gustavo for Marktur and the Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for having me here at Marktur Forum. Not only that, but thank you for your very pioneering attitude in promoting tourism to gay and lesbian people from across the world into Argentina. It is really important. Diversity and inclusion in any form of travel, in any form of segment, is really, really important to the fabric of a community. And a really big round of applause for the guys for doing such great work to bring gay and lesbian people and forwarding the rights of gay and lesbian people across the world. So who am I? My name is Jong. I am the editor-in-chief of OutThere magazine. I do a lot of things. We are essentially the world's largest, biggest, leading magazine, luxury and experiential travel magazine for gay people. Mainly in the US and the UK. We are based out of the UK, but also 20 countries around the world. I have the honor of being here in Argentina because we are putting together a very special issue of our magazine, the Argentina issue, which will be coming out in December, featuring nearly 75 pages all about your wonderful country here. I'm also very proud to be the LGBT ambassador for tourism for the Kingdom of Thailand and also the Kingdom of Sweden. My mission is to travel the world to talk about LGBT tourism and to promote diversity and inclusion in tourism into those countries. And hopefully soon, I can talk more about Argentina. I also run a consultancy business in London called Boutique Marketing, and we help brands connect with LGBT audiences. Now, you see the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds all here. I'm not one of those people who worry about you using your phones while I'm talking. Please use your phones because social media is a really good way of interacting with the world. And please feel free to talk about everything you hear about here today and tweet at OutThere Mag is the best the best way to get in touch with us via social media across all the platforms. So who are we? As I said, we're the world's leading luxury and experiential travel magazine for gay people of distinction. We sell over 60,000 printed copies worldwide. Our biggest markets are the UK and US. We have nearly 1 million page views each month with 260,000 unique hits. a load of newsletter subscribers, followers on social media, as we've talked about. And what we are really about is travel for gay people, which actually is a big difference from gay travel. We'll talk about that in a little bit, hopefully toward the end of the presentation, but there is a difference because one is a lot about pure gay experiences and the other is just usual everyday experiences for people who happen to be gay. We are, as we said, currently producing an Argentina issue in partnership with Marktur and the Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce here in Argentina. So what am I going to talk to you about today? The big thing is the difference between the luxury gay traveler and the average gay traveler. To handle some demographics, to talk about the sort of people that we are discussing here today. To also introduce research. Every 2 years we produce a piece of research based on the readers of our magazine. So we ourselves understand what the trends are and what we should be looking for and what we should be doing to attract more luxury gay and lesbian travelers. We'll also talk about their travel behavior, the sort of things they like to do, the sort of things they like to see based on that research. We'll also talk about insights and trends, so things to look forward to in the future, so you can future-proof your marketing if you are attracting gay and lesbian audiences. And I also want for you to go away today with some tips, some things you can do yourself in your respective travel businesses to engage the LGBTQ marketplace. So to talk about the out there man, so to give you the demographic behaviors of the people we've interviewed. Now, at this point, I would like to say it is mainly male-based, this research, purely because the readers of our magazine are male-based, but we must not forget when talking about LGBTQ travel that females, the lesbian market, the bi women market are also very important and a growing force. However, what we're showing to you here today is mainly about males traveling. This is the demographic breakdown, mainly in the 30 to 59 mark, so slightly older, more affluent, high incomes, very purpose-driven. They will choose quality over price. They're more likely to spend on luxury goods and services as compared to the average customer. And the average spend on luxury goods is 10 times more than the average mainstream person. 66% are interested in redefining luxury, so they're looking for new experiences, how they make their mark on the luxury travel market. 93% use the internet and mobile in their everyday lives. They're upwardly mobile. 84% have taken at least 2 long-haul holidays a year. 80% has more than 20 vacation days a year. Now, this is really important. In many countries, I have the benefit from coming from Europe, although maybe not so much longer Europe, but I have the benefit of coming from Europe. So we have laws that allow for longer holidays, but in places like America and Japan and many countries in this world, the average person has less holiday days than the average European person. So as they rise in their affluence, as they rise in their professionalism, they tend to get more holiday days. So it's really important to think about that type of traveler, the person with more holiday days a year, which also means they're more affluent and they're more likely to spend more on travel. 86% of these people state that their biggest luxury expenditure is travel. And 88% state travel as their greatest passion. As compared to the mainstream market, or the straight market, so to speak, where only 66% state travel as their greatest passion. They're also connoisseurs, so 76% consider themselves luxury travelers. 82% spend more than $7,500 per person on their last long-haul holiday. The average total expenditure on travel in 1 year is somewhere in around the $21,000 mark. 66% will fly premium cabins, and 82% are the top-tier members of their airline or hotel loyalty schemes. Our research, just to give you a background of what we did, we more or less 4,000 people responded from 12 countries across the world. US and Canada, UK, Ireland, Germany, France, parts of Asia. China's a really important market, as my colleague here, George, spoke to you about today. South Africa and Australia. So English-speaking markets in general. as we said, the respondents, the first thing we said, have you spent more than $7,500 US on your last holiday? And only those people who said yes gets pulled through in the research. The other thing that's really important for us to understand in the luxury travel market is the trade, is the business-to-business side of it. So what we really wanted to do was to go out and talk to general managers of hotels, tour operators, to get their understanding, to understand what their thoughts on gay and lesbian tourism is. So, here are the insights. Here are some of the research statistics. I don't know if you've ever seen research presented in this way. Just to give you a little background, what it means, the big circles mean more, the small circles mean less, the circles that are next to each other, they mean things and themes that are linked to each other. So the one big thing that came out from research is, as gay and lesbian travelers, we are not just gay. We have a lot of demographic differences. We have a lot of characteristic differences that define us. So to truly understand the motivation of gay travelers, we have to understand that they don't just define themselves by their sexuality. So gay luxury travelers are more interested in socio-cultural definitions rather than just their sexuality. So let's look at some of this stuff. Sexuality obviously is the big one because that defines us physically. Social currency is really, really important. And what social currency means is your social standing in the community or the society that you are in. So the fact that you can afford to go on holiday gives you a lot of social currency. The fact that you're going somewhere absolutely fabulous gives you a lot of social currency. The fact that you're going somewhere that no one has ever been to before, or an experience that you've never experienced before, gives you a lot of social currency. And with that, social status, income, wealth, and also intelligence. Now, this is a really big thing, outlook. Gay and lesbian people want to be seen as very worldly. They're very exposed to the world, that they know a lot about the world. So when they look for travel destinations or they look for experiences in a destination, they look for things with intelligence and outlook. And then obviously, quite surprisingly, less defined by their nationality, their race, where they are in the world, and their age. So what is really interesting for us coming out of this piece of research is that the sort of social characteristics form a greater part of the decision-making process as compared to the physical characteristics, which is actually really surprising because for a lot of the mainstream market, where you are, how old you are, where you're from, your nationality actually defines a lot your choices when you travel. We also, as gay people, as we said, we're looking for social currency, so we tend to look beyond the obvious. Being a gay welcoming brand is extremely important, or a destination, a gay welcoming destination is very, very important, but there are other key things that we look for in a vacation. And now this is a really big one. Discretion seems to be the biggest reason why people choose one destination or one brand over the other. It's not so much about whether a brand is gay friendly or not. I think we know as gay people which brands are gay friendly or which destinations are gay friendly through their marketing and through our own intuition and through our own group of friends and our network. But it turns out that actually discretion is really important. Discretion means going to a place where you won't be disturbed, where you won't feel like you are someone different. So that's really important. So leading into that, where I can be myself, where I can meet other gay people, hot guys comes up quite high, although less than all those other things. Being gay friendly is a big one. The world of all gay holidays are a big thing. So there are gay cruises, gay residential holidays, gay pride, those things are important, and gay infrastructure. And gay infrastructure is something we'll come back to. I want to talk about that because that's really important. Positive word of mouth is also very important. So where your friends or your peers have been to before and come back and said, oh my God, I had a really good time. It was a really friendly country or destination or brand. And also with that links to familiarity, the concept that you know a little bit or a lot about that place already. On the other side of that is the social things that we discussed earlier, the opportunity to brag. That's a really big one. That's the opportunity to show off. I have been to a wonderful place. I have been to a place you've never been before. I've been wine tasting in Mendoza. I've been on the glaciers of Patagonia. Have you? You know, that seems to be a really big motivator for this audience too. And something that reflects your social stature. I work very hard, so I earn a lot of money, so I can go to somewhere very different. That's really important. And I think, you know, you'll see that these characteristics are not just LGBT specific. They're actually much characteristics of the greater luxury audience in general. There are regional and demographic variations, of course, and this is what we talked about when it came to gay infrastructure. Now, gay infrastructure means a place that might have gay bars or a strong gay community or a gay pride. And actually, if you look at the survey results from different parts of the world, Asia, particularly China, for example, they're a little more behind in their LGBT acceptance and the concept of LGBT rights. So when they travel, they want to go to a place that has a really strong LGBT infrastructure and an LGBT community. Same with South America. And as we get into North America and Europe, it becomes less and less important, the need for an LGBT infrastructure. Now, the other interesting thing also is the definition by age. So the older you are, the more likely you want to be part of an LGBT infrastructure, purely because of social characteristics, coming out late in life, coming from a place or a time where being gay or lesbian is not necessarily accepted or tolerated. So when you travel as an older person, you're looking for more gay infrastructure, more gay life. And as the ages come down, again, it becomes less important to have gay infrastructure where you are traveling. But what's really important in total with the gay community is that the gay community will support destinations and brands that support them back. So the question we asked here is, in the last 12 months, have you bought from a brand or visited a destination that has proactively demonstrated proactive LGBTQ inclusivity in their travel marketing or in their travel experiences? And it's an overwhelming yes. Nearly 90% of people said, we buy because a brand or a destination has proven to us that they are a member of our community. Will you visit a destination with a bad or no record of LGBT rights? No, it's the same thing, the polar opposite, so no. Nearly 80% of people said they won't visit a place where there isn't an LGBT rights or LGBT political infrastructure. So for like a destination like Argentina, there's a real opportunity here, because in Argentina you have the infrastructure and you have the community and you have those proactive LGBT rights in gay marriage, in gay rights, in political structures. So there's a real opportunity to reach out to the world and say, hey, look, we are friendly, we are welcoming. So put us at the top of your list when it comes to making a decision to which destination you want to go to. What kind of vacation do we look for? Now, I think this is what a lot of people are quite interested in. What do we look for as gay people when it comes to choosing your destination? Now, the big one that's coming out this year is wellness and spa. That seems to really be a big thing. We probed further to try and understand why that is. And the same reason why experiential and new experiences are coming up really big for us. As people who have experienced a lot of difference in their life, as people who have a lot of work, stresses at work, a lot of money, when we escape and when we travel, we want to feel different things. We want to learn new things. We want things that stimulate our bodies and also our minds. We want things that other people can't necessarily experience on a daily basis. So we're looking for those things that really helps us escape our daily lives. And in its practical concept, wellness and spa obviously helps you escape, because mind, body and soul takes you away from your everyday life and your everyday stresses, but also experiential, new experiences. Things like personal development holidays, life-changing holidays, things that make you change your outlook. Ecotourism, adventure travel is getting really big, food and drink. And on the other side of things, we have all gay holidays, cruises, luxury resorts, and pure escapism is a really big thing. That means I'm going away and I'm doing absolutely nothing. For the same exact reason, we want to escape our daily lives. We want to escape the stresses. We don't want to worry about anything that happens back home. Now, this is a really big one. Actually, compared to the previous years that we did this survey, weddings and honeymoons and modern family are growing. It's a really big growing segment. Weddings and honeymoons for obvious reasons in the United States and across the world, and also across Latin America, gay marriage is becoming more of the norm. So people want to get married, they want to have a honeymoon, they spend on their travel. And as those communities develop, we are having more children. We're having children now. And that's become a really important part of the destination choice, to go to a destination where, as a gay family, we will feel welcome. Now, this is a big one because actually there are very few destinations at this moment in time across the world that can cater to a family. We've heard really bad reports even in places like Spain, even in places like Italy, where you have a family holiday resort where you have parents, gay parents with kids and straight parents with kids, and the straight parents don't want their kids to play with the kids of the gay parents because they are prejudiced in that way. And that ruined the holiday. That ruined the holiday for the entire family. So it's really important to think about potential options as travel professionals to include LGBT families in the future. And this segment is actually going to grow. It's going to grow and grow and grow and grow like you've never seen before. How are we inspired? So this is a really big one. How do we get our information? How do we choose the destinations we want to see? Where should you advertise? Where should you market? Where should you be focusing your PR? So on and offline travel editorial is still big until today. Advertising and sponsorship, events, friends and family, networking. And actually, this is very interesting as compared to a few years ago. Social media is shrinking in the luxury market. I guess in a world where there's so much choice and there's so much information and there's so much on social media, it's hard to make a difference. It's hard to see who you can trust. It's hard to see who actually is the right ambassador for you, who makes the right influence for you. So actually that market is actually shrinking. And on the opposite side, the market that is growing are travel agents and travel concierges and consultancies. If I was to show you this slide 2 years ago, the travel consultants and travel agents were tiny. Really, really small market. And now it seems that the LGBT market are looking towards travel agents, concierges, and travel experts to help them make their purchasing decisions when it comes to travel. What are our hottest destinations? Everyone wants to know this. We used to put this in a list. We thought that wasn't really fair because some destinations are very close and then some destinations are very far apart. So here are the big destinations by definition of entry point, so the way they enter the country, not saying that it's just that destination, just that city. So Buenos Aires doesn't mean just Buenos Aires, it actually means Argentina, so the point of entry. So the hottest destinations are the ones that clearly do a lot of proactive marketing to the segment. They see great brand recognition as a result. So for us, Bangkok, Thailand, in Asia it's a really big thing. Buenos Aires, Argentina, when it comes to Latin America, is the top destination for our readership base, for our survey base. And then there are some smaller destinations, Madrid, Spain, Stockholm, Sweden, Dublin, London. There's some obvious destinations too. But what is really interesting for you, particularly here today, is how strong Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Rio, Brazil, in this area, is really the leading destinations. And then again, to show you, to demonstrate the opportunity there is to be more proactive when it comes to LGBT travelers. We also, as I said earlier, talk to the travel industry because that's really important to see what they're saying. We asked the 50 members of the travel industry what approximately your gay customer base is in the last 12 months. And this is really surprising. It seems that somewhere between 5 and 20% of hotels and travel businesses see naturally gay and lesbian tourism. That's really high, considering we are told that there's somewhere between 6 and 10% of a population that's gay. To show the value of LGBT tourism is somewhere in the 10 and 20%, shows that we as a community are actually spending more. So we are greater value. We might not be high in volume in terms of numbers of people, but we are spending more and we have greater volume in travel, greater value in travel. just some quotes from some people. The general manager of the biggest Swedish hotel group, Yokma Larsen, he says, for us, gay and lesbian customers are higher value customers, better than any other segment that we focus our marketing activities on. In general, we see significant incremental spend in our spa, food and beverage, and also our experience and tours. So increasing the number of gay guests to the hotel is a very easy and surefire way of increasing our revenue. So he's not necessarily thinking from just a pure diversity perspective. He's thinking about revenue. So how do we increase our revenue? How do we increase the popularity of what businesses we do? We look at a segment. We look at increasing the value of that segment, because that's good for profitability. Not only is it good for diversity and inclusion, it's good for profitability. Patrick Krummenacher, who's the PR director of the most exclusive ski resort in Switzerland, he says, we see our gay guests as the ultimate benchmark. And I really like this. I really like what he said, because he says of their specific requirements and their personal challenges that they may have faced in their travels, discrimination or whatever that may be, they are naturally more inquisitive and they're more discerning. They look for they research more. They want to know more about what those places are, and they're naturally a little fussier, a little choosier. So what this hotel is doing is to exceed their expectations. So they see gay guests as the benchmark, because they believe if they can please a gay guest, they can actually please any guest. Because the gay guest is not the most difficult, but had their personal challenges. So if you can solve those challenges, then you can go on and solve any challenge. You will know about Belmonte. Belmonte is particularly big in Peru, but also across the world. Belmonte is a luxury brand, and they have their own director of LGBT sales. They've actually proactively gone out and said, the LGBT market is something that we really, really want to be part of. So Belmonte has recognized that we want to be the LGBT luxury brand of choice through proactive marketing activities, by ways of advertising and consumer events and partnerships with brands like OutThere. There's ongoing trade engagement, forming an LGBT advisory board. We can increase our overall share of the luxury travel market and be a great brand for everybody. Not just for the gay and lesbian market, for everybody. Claudine Triolo, Director of Sales and Marketing of Rayavadi in Krabi in Thailand. Through proactive marketing and PR and by becoming part of the global community, I believe that we have now increased the number of valuable LGBT guests from around 10% to 20%. Of course, this is an approximation, because we don't ask every guest that comes to the doors, are you gay? Nobody asks that. But our team, who are made out of many gay people, have noticed a considerable increase in the number of gay guests coming to the resort. And last but not least, a soundbite from a dear friend who's actually a founder of Imperial Travel in Slovenia. Slovenia is not a natural LGBT destination. It doesn't have a great LGBT infrastructure. But what they wanted to do as LGBT people was to create a product, to create an event, to increase the awareness, not just of the event, but of the destination as a whole. So he said, by creating gay-specific events, we can raise the profile of lesser-known destinations like ours in Slovenia. Our Pink Week, that's the name of the event, each spring has seen a steady increase in numbers, which has done wonders for Slovenia's reputation in the LGBT space. We have also seen an increase in the numbers of gay visitors outside of Pink Week. So it's not just a one-off thing. By creating an event, by creating products for the LGBT community, you're actually creating value throughout the year. So, wrapping up, give you some future trends to future-proof your marketing, and also to give you some tips on how to engage the LGBT market. So, as you can see, we've talked about the research over the last few slides, and these are the insights coming out of that research. So, the gay luxury market is becoming much more mature. Their tastes are maturing, and they're becoming smarter than ever before. We have always been referred to as this market called DINKs, double income, no kids, a valuable market. But actually it's emerging that there's an aging population of what we called golden DINKs. So much older people over 50 who may not have children because they came out late in life, or actually they didn't want to have children, they have the personal disposable income to spend much, much more money on travel in their twilight years. Millennials, right. I am just outside the millennial bracket, unfortunately. But millennials, this is something you hear a lot of. Everyone talking about how do we get hold of this millennial. Now, in the luxury travel market, there aren't that many millennials for obvious reasons because they're younger and they're not as affluent. But actually, from our research, the people that are in the 25 to 35 gap are growing up. I don't say that in a mean way or a nasty way, but they've actually found that they're getting more important in their jobs, they're rising in status, they're rising in salary, so they don't have that much time to chat on social media every day. Their preferences and their social currency is increasing. They don't want to be going to the same place that all other millennials are going. I now make more money than the next millennial, so I want to go to a more luxurious place, more interesting place. So we will see millennial behavior start to converge with behaviors that we've known more traditionally. The time of the travel expert is really returning, and I touched on that in the number of people that are using travel agents now and a number of people that are returning to travel magazines and really good travel editorial, because in a world of really so much content, so much information, you don't know who to trust. A lot of people have stated the number one reason why they don't trust peer-to-peer reviews anymore is because there are hotels putting up reviews, fake reviews, or paying people in a different country to put up fake reviews. How can you trust a situation? It's got to a situation where you don't know. One person says, oh, this hotel is great. The other person says, oh, not so great. And you believe both of them. So where do you find that middle ground? So to really go back to experts and using experts and influencers are really, really important in your travel marketing in the future. Going back to what my colleague George said earlier, look at emerging markets. For example, the Far East, China, South Korea, Japan. Those markets are really interesting markets, not just because they have a lot of money, but also because they are traveling more, and their preferences are maybe our preferences a few years ago. So when they travel, they're looking for gay infrastructure. They're looking for other gay people in resort. They're looking to meet and outreach to gay people. So that's a really important segment to think about. As sort of more developing LGBT communities, our preferences are changing. We're becoming more mainstream, so to speak. But this market is not as mainstream because they don't have it in their country. And the numbers are just astounding. To take China alone, I'm sure George told you earlier, but to take China alone, there is a LGBT social network app called Blued. They are by default the largest social network in the world for LGBT people, because they have 7 million users on this one app that are just LGBT. Just for numbers, you know, because when you have 1.8 billion people in your population, 7 million is actually not that much. So there are just only 7 million people using this app. Imagine how many people outside the app there are that, you know, that you could potentially tap into. So it's a really big market. So if you want to do some ROI, return on investment calculation, just increasing your market share in the Chinese market by 1%, you can see how much that would deliver you in terms of numbers and volume. And the last but not least, in the tips section, gay and modern families will be a rapidly growing market to look out for over the next 10 years. So if you can develop your marketing, develop your products to take into account gay and lesbian families, you will see a lot of success in the future. So to sum up, I want to give you 10 tips to go away with today to how to enhance your LGBT marketing. Number one, set some solid gay and lesbian marketing objectives. We say this in our agency in London: awareness is vanity, a measurable objective is sanity. Because you can say, oh yes, I want lots of gay people to come to visit, but that's not really an objective. What is it you're trying to achieve? How many gay people are you trying to do? And that will help inform what route and what marketing you use. So understand what you want to achieve. So think of it in this way: 100,000 person brand awareness and exposure among gay men in the UK. Be very specific. 20 honeymoon bookings in the next year, 10 gay wedding receptions in 3 months of the summer, 5,000 LGBTQ email addresses by the end of any marketing campaign that you're looking, or bookings. You can even go down to sales. I want 5 group bookings from the USA. So think about, specific objectives, because it is a credible market. And if you want to tap into a credible market, you have to have measurable objectives. Be part of the community. Now, this is a really good one. A lot of people think I want to reach the gay and lesbian market, but I'm just going to stand on the outside. I'm going to put money into marketing, and I'm going to hope for the best. You can't do that. We are a community. It's really, really important that you are part of this community on a global level. So join your local gay and lesbian chamber of commerce. Join ALAT LGBT. Be part of the International Gay and Lesbian Travel Association, because those are the situations where you can trade ideas and where you can network and you can reap benefits from understanding the market by meeting other people from all over the world, all over Latin America, that are already reaching out to gay and lesbian audiences. Get involved with your local charity. Charity is a really big one, It's a really strong demographic identifier in the gay market. We really believe in gay rights, and we really believe in gay charities. So if you're part or you're doing work with those charities, that can increase your status in the LGBT community. Don't actually say you're gay friendly, but actually be gay welcoming. There are lots of things you need to do. Hotels should provide some sensitivity training to their staff to help them understand what gay travelers are looking for. Create an employee LGBT network. Get your hotel or your brand accredited by a third party, for example, or create LGBTQ specific products. This example here is someone we work with, Preferred Hotels and Resorts. I'm sure you know, they have some fantastic luxury properties worldwide. They have a scheme called Preferred Pride, a direct URL that they can track. And basically, these members, individual hotels who really want to reach the gay and lesbian audience, pay into the scheme so they can collectively go out to the world and market as a community. Understand your customer, really, really important. Gay people have spent their lives being treated differently. What they really want to know is that you are going to treat them the same as everybody else. That's the big secret. Everyone thinks, oh, I've got to create special LGBT something. I've got to be super gay. I've got to have rainbows and pink triangles and really fabulous marketing. No, we don't necessarily want that. What we want is to be treated the same as everybody else. So just because you have a rainbow in your logo or a sticker in your window does not make you a gay-friendly brand. So please invest time in understanding what it is that gay people are looking for and how your business can help to meet and exceed those objectives. The campaign here for Thailand is called Go Thai, Be Free. Nothing very different, except for their imagery shows gay people enjoying everyday things. They're not enjoying a gay pride festival, or they're not enjoying necessarily a gay bar. They're just enjoying everyday things, but as gay and lesbian couples and as gay and lesbian people. Integrate gay strategy into your mainstream marketing strategy. Again, a similar tip from before. Don't think too much about splitting the two. Don't worry about alienating your other clients. This example here is by Belmonte. The top advertising is a gay ad. The one on the bottom is a straight ad. You won't tell the difference. You won't even know. They've not created anything. They've not put any rainbows on anything. They've not created anything that is particularly different. It's tapping into that insight that we just want to be treated like everyone else. So the only little change is that there happens to be a man in the top talking about his husband or his partner. And that's what the text says. But if you look at it, you won't actually tell the difference. Create an LGBTQ event or products. If you are a lesser known brand or a lesser known destination in this market, by creating a product specifically for gay people, you can grab their attention and you can create longer term value. So you might do a few days a year, but actually the impact of that message to say that we welcome gay people on these 3 days a year actually resonates throughout the entire year. So this example here is Slovenia. They created pinkweek.eu, which is a 4-day event in Slovenia, and actually they have seen such fantastic results of people coming in, gay people coming into Slovenia at other times of the year, not just for that event. So maybe think about things you can do to create products that would attract LGBT people, not as a big sales push, but as a piece of marketing, as a piece of awareness, just a reason to say we are here and we are welcoming of gay and lesbian audiences. Content is king. Now, I talked about millennials earlier. It's so confusing. What do you use? Do you use a magazine? Do you use a newspaper? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook? There's so many ways of reaching this marketplace. But I come back to one particular thing: create really interesting, good, relevant content. And if you're creating that really interesting content that's attractive to those people, it doesn't matter what channel you're sending it out on, because that's the most important thing, that you are creating ideas, you're creating inspiration that will reach gay and lesbian people. So this is something that the Kingdom of Sweden does. Visit Sweden, UK. They have created a portal, an LGBT news portal that actually does not very much but collate all the stories, all the LGBT stories about gay travel into Sweden into one place. And it's become a portal. It becomes a piece of inspiration that everyone travels, everyone goes into to find out how to be inspired when you're traveling to Sweden and if you happen to be gay or lesbian. Work with gay influencers, create global ambassadors for your brand, let other people help you do your work. They say the number one rule of networking is not who you know, but it's who that person that you know knows. That's the way influencer marketing works. If you can influence one person to love your brand, they will influence 10 people to love your brand. So think about who those key people are. And it's different. I can't be here to tell you exactly who the top gay influencers are, because it's different for every single person. If you are a small boutique hotel with 3 rooms, then it's different from being Belmonte with 40 properties across the world. And the influencers there are different. So you need to look at and spend time, to invest time to look at the influencers that are specific to you and your market and your brand. It pays to pay. Not many brands like to hear this, but advertising and sponsorship does work. It just shows that you're committed to inclusion. It shows that you're not just trying to get a little bit of extra revenue, but it doesn't always have to be advertising. But think about things that you can work with partners on doing. Events is a big one. This is an event we did for Thailand in Washington, D.C., where we invited 20 super luxury audiences. They're doctors, lawyers, people in the corridors of power and politics, to a lunch where we sat down and promoted Thailand to them. It wasn't expensive, but just one sale from one person out of that 20 will pay for the program completely 2 times. So you need to think about those ROI metrics when looking at your advertising program or your sponsorship program or your event program, but it really does pay to go out and do proactive marketing. Very important. Make sure you keep in touch. This is the classic. A lot of people do a marketing campaign or an event and then say bye. I hope you enjoyed the campaign, or I hope you enjoyed the event. We're not going to talk to you again. That's our LGBT marketing complete. You have to create long-term value. It's not about a one-off. You've got to keep going back, and you've got to keep talking to your audience over and over again, because it's not just, again, about who they are, it's about who they know and the positive word of mouth that you can put out. So the marketing way of saying this is to create a customer relationship marketing or CRM campaign. However big or small, if you want to use an Excel spreadsheet with 20 people on there, that's fine. If you want to use Salesforce, that's fine too. But keep in touch with your customers on a long-term basis. And that's it. Top 10 tips. I hope I have inspired some thinking. That's what I wanted to go away. I wanted you to go away to really think about the segment. I'm open to questions, but I will also be at the Argentina LGBT booth for the rest of the day. If you want to come and do some one-to-one, I'm happy to do that too.
First of all, loud clap for you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
I've learned a lot about LGBT market, and I see that it's a very specific market. Would you like to compare this market with another one, such as this specific one? Do we have another specific market as LGBT is?
Yes, I think my view is slightly different. I don't see this as a specific market niche. I actually see it as a segment. It's no different from women travelers or people who like to play golf. It really isn't any different. They have a set of characteristics that just defines who they are and what their preferences are, but is no different to a golfer or a female traveler or a traveler who may have a disability or a traveler that can only speak German. You know, it's no
specific
it's really
segment.
No different.
Yeah. Thank you very much. ¿Alguien tiene preguntas para Uwern Jong? Otro aplauso fuerte para él y muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Uwern. Thank you. Bueno, a lo largo